Hey everyone, this is 13 meteorologist Sean Ash. For nearly a week, Indiana has been marked or highlighted in a potential severe risk zone for tomorrow, Tuesday, April 29th. And we've told you from the very beginning that we would monitor each day, keep you updated. And about 5 days ago, we issued the weather impact alert day for Tuesday. And now we're within 24 hours, so we can kind of get into a little more of the specifics. Now, I will tell you, even though we're actually less than 24 hours before the first storms arrive, there's still some uncertainties on how the atmosphere evolves. There's a few things I want you to take away from this video. Please know that the atmospheric setup in the level 4 risk today over Iowa and Wisconsin and Minnesota is completely different than the modeled atmosphere here locally. Okay, so know that. We're not expecting a tornado outbreak in Indiana tomorrow. But impactful storms, certainly. Now, not everyone will have severe weather on Tuesday. In storms, even though we have bracketed the hours from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., that does not mean it's going to storm all day long. It will more than likely come in the form of a couple of different rounds. Okay, any storm on radar tomorrow will have heavy rain potential. Think about being in Florida. Okay, so some downpours of rain. Severe gust with some of the storms, and right now the chance of a tornado is not zero, but it's rather low on the scale there. So we want you to continue to follow our forecast here on WTHR Plus. Make sure you have our free app on your phone. And make sure that your EAS, the emergency alert system on your phone, is turned on for alerts. And I'll get a little more detail on that here toward the end of our video. So again, break this down. These times are subject to change, by the way. But fair game from 8 in the morning to around midday for round number 1. And I will tell you that round number 1 will have a big impact on round number 2, both in severity and location. But we think that will happen from around 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. As I mentioned, all storms tomorrow will likely be some heavy rainmakers. Some of the storms will have the severe gusts. So we show you the radar now here early Monday afternoon so we can kind of tell the whole story. Severe clear is the story today. Temperatures will be in the 80s. At least right now, the dew points, which is a measurement of moisture in the air, the lower the number, the drier the air, it's pretty tolerable. That will change dramatically over the next 24 hours as you can see the influx of moisture. Dew points 60 plus are streaming way north on this strong southerly wind, and that will eventually set the tone for what happens up to the northwest later this afternoon. In fact, you can see 66-degree dew point there in Sioux Falls. So this moisture channel is going all the way in to this area of low pressure that's intensifying. So the setup in that moderate risk or level 4 risk, you've got the moisture, you'll eventually have the instability, and you're going to have a ton of wind shear. So there's going to be a bunch of spin on these storms when they develop here. Explosive development later today. And these will be what we call supercells. And so they will have the greatest potential to create possibly some long track tornadoes. In addition to that, there's a high chance for significant wind damage and some big hail too. What happens with those cells is they will eventually morph into either a line or more of a complex. And the modeling suggests that we are going to have one of these a complex or the leftovers of the storms come through during the morning hours on Tuesday. Now again, as I mentioned, the specific timing is still a little subject to change. We've been bracketing those hours from around 8 to 1 p.m. Now whether or not these are severe, I can't answer that for you. It's possible that we could have some severe thunderstorm warnings within this first complex. What will be very important on how this all evolves tomorrow is how widespread this first batch is, and then also how quickly it gets out of the state. because the longer it hangs around, the less chance for atmospheric instability with the second round. So this first batch could eat up a lot of the potential energy for the second one. All right, so we're going to be watching it closely. Now, if this first round is very weak in nature, not very widespread, and this thing gets out of here real quickly, okay, that's a completely different setup. And I will tell you, there's both scenarios are possible. That's why this one's a little tough. But if this gets out quick, we heat up this whole atmosphere, and then we get the second wave, we'll have much more potential energy to work with. Now, please know this is just one run of a forecast model. It's going more on the solution that the first wave puts the more severe storms a little bit closer to the Ohio River. It is very possible that this is much farther to the north and there's much more of I-70 in play. Look, we're going to have 2 rounds of storms. We feel pretty confident on that. And even if we don't get severe weather with the second one, they're still going to be very impactful. We're still going to have downpours and we're still going to have lightning around here. All right, we're still in this level 2 risk, and there will definitely still be some fine tuning to all of this. It does appear by the time we get closer to 9 p.m. that even if this second wave is producing severe storms, a bulk of the severe weather should be just about wrapped up by 9 p.m. And that is key for those going to the Pacer game, which I'll detail in a little moment. Here's another model snapshot of what we call storm updraft potential. And why these streaks are key is that it indicates at least the potential for some decent updraft to occur. In a storm, you have to have an updraft within a storm to keep it going, okay? So it is showing some streaks around, and that would suggest that we will, at minimum, have some severe thunderstorm warnings, at least, with some of these storms tomorrow. Doesn't mean that every single one produces a severe thunderstorm, but that's why we're in that level 2 out of 5 zone right now. So here's the deal for those going to Game 5, or if you just have any plans tomorrow evening. There's going to be storms around. You should plan for storms going into the field house. It's a 6 p.m. tip-off. So we get a little closer. So if you're saying 6, usually takes about rough, ballparkish 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 45 minutes. By 9:10, not all of the storms, but the bulk of severe weather should be just to the south. Now, I mentioned make sure you have the EAS turned on your phone. We talked about this last week in preparation for these storms coming in tomorrow. There is a weather radio outage in central Indiana. It started yesterday, or it started this morning, rather. It goes until at least the 30th of April. They're upgrading the National Weather Service computer systems. It does not impact the ability for the great folks at the National Weather Service to issue warnings. They're going to have assistance from the North Webster office. That whole process is still going to be fine. It's just if you rely on a weather radio, which is a great tool, by the way, with the exception of this time, they just could not, they had to get this work done and they couldn't delay it. The EAS will work on your phone. Our free weather app is still operational. And we will be here on WTHR Plus. So if you can have us on the background, we will be covering the storms. It's just if you have a weather radio, those are not going to work. The 9 radio transmitters and frequencies here in central Indiana will not be working. All right, they're not working right now. This does not impact the sirens or the warning process. So that's what we have now. We will continue to kind of look over data, and we will keep you updated here on WTHR Plus. Please be weather aware. Follow our forecast. Keep tabs of the potential changes, and we will do our best to keep you safe here. And hopefully we don't have a whole lot of warnings, but we know it's also a possibility that some of these storms could be severe. They're certainly going to be impactful to your day if you have outdoor plans. Stay with us, and we will do our best to keep you safe.